It was so wild. We were Facebooking about something.
Yeah, it was because you had sent
Good morning. Oh, that was a lovely good morning. I am Paula Gribble, Director of Lifespan Religious Education. My pronouns are she, her, and I am also your service leader today. If I can make my tablet behave. Challenged by our liberating faith, we discover deeper spiritual meaning, nurture loving community, cultivate courageous connections, and partner in the work of justice. Welcome to all of you on the live stream and in person. We are pleased to have guests with us in the room and participating virtually. I encourage you to reach out to our Director of Member Relations, Kelly Green. Her email and picture are on the screen. We have large print orders of service, personal hearing assistance devices, and an elevator available should you need it. There is also a hearing loop in our alternate worship space in the Bernstein room. We have coloring pages and fidgets for all ages, in the vestibule if that is useful to you or your children. There are a few announcements this morning. This week on Wednesday, we will be viewing the movie The Greatest Night in Pop that chronicles the We Are the World experience. It will be in Freeman Hall. Yes? No? In the sanctuary. It'll be in the sanctuary from 6 to 8:30. We are training to register voters with UU the Vote and You Can Vote on our Voter Empowerment Training Day, which is Saturday, July 13th at 10:30. This will be an hour-long in-person training designed to mobilize volunteers with how to educate and empower the community for upcoming elections. You can sign up in currents. Also, on July 14th and August 11th, so that's a week from today, and then August 11th, Christy Miller, who's our receptionist and administrative assistant, will be available to update member photos for our new directory. After the service, you simply stop by and take a snapshot with her to update new images so that other members can see your smiling face. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you, whether you're here in person or joining via live stream, whether today is your first day or your 1000th Sunday in our midst. We are stronger because you are with us. We are one people of many beliefs, origins, identities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. It is good to be together. I invite you to take a deep breath and settle in as our service begins.
My Lord, what a morning. We span continents and centuries with our music and our readings today. Hear this invocation from Hildegard of Bingen, a medieval mystic from the Rhineland. Fire of the Spirit, life of the lives of creatures, spiral of sanctity, bond of all nature, glow of charity, lights of clarity, taste of sweetness to the fallen, be with us and hear us. Composer of all things, joy and the glory, strong honor, be with us and hear us. Let's continue our praise this morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join. Lyrics will be in the hymnal and on the screen.
Our chalice lighting this morning comes from the Buddhist tradition, the loving kindness meditation. This will be a responsive reading. The words will be on the screen. I will say the regular print lines, and you all do the ones in italics. And we begin. We begin by expressing love for ourselves.
May I be free of suffering. May I be at peace. May I know the joy of growing true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all others. May I know love.
We then express love for those for whom we care.
May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love.
We express love for those who we find difficult in small ways and in large.
May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love.
finally, we express love for all beings.
May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love.
May the flame we light carry these kind words with us this morning. may be seated. It's a good morning, isn't it? Yeah. Hasn't the sun been so bright lately? It's been warm. Just a little warm. I want to know what people like to do in the summer. So how many people like to travel? People like to travel, sure. How many people like to swim and be near the water? Yes, me too. How many people like to stay home? Yes. How many people just really aren't sure what to do with yourself? There are so many things that we do or don't do because of the sun. It's such an important part of our lives, and we often just forget. We just think it's there. Did you know that without the sun, our planet's temperature would drop to 0 within a week and to -100 within a year? The sun gives us warmth, but it also gives us energy, and we can learn ourselves to be bright like the sun. Sometimes I think we only pay attention to the sun for what it gives or doesn't give us. People can get stuck on looking at things from just their own perspective. That's not very sunny thinking, is it? It's important to be strong in yourself, but when we only think about ourselves one way, we lose out. Do you remember the story of the Grinch? Does anybody remember the story? Yeah? I know it's a Christmas story, but it's got a message worth hearing year-round. See, the Grinch had a hard time seeing anything but the way he thought things should be. And he was not sunny. Instead, he was grumpy and angry and mostly alone. And so he wanted to take everything from the Who's because he wanted them to feel like him too. But even after he took everything from everyone, guess what? He still felt grumpy and alone. And what did the Who's do? They came together and sang. They didn't think of what they didn't have. They connected with each other, and that was enough. And then, the best part is that when the Grinch saw this, and for the first time got out of his own way of thinking, you know what happened? What happened? His heart grew 3 sizes that day. We can sometimes be like the Grinch, grumpy and mostly alone, and taking things for ourselves, but that is not sunny thinking. We can learn to be bright like the sun, and when we shine brightly, we share our warmth with others, just like the Who's. When we stay connected with one another, we create an even brighter light. And even when we start our sunny thinking, we can spread the light even further. Have you ever had a time when someone that you know was having a hard time with something and it was making them a bit grumpy? And then you saw someone reach out to that person for help and they let the person help? I bet you got to see both people brighten up and their hearts grew. Sometimes we don't even have to do anything. We can just be there with the other people. Have you had someone in your family or a friend who's been sick before? And being sick is no fun, especially when you have to stay in bed and you're mostly alone. That certainly doesn't feel sunny. But then, maybe you come to visit them when they're sick. And even though you can't take their sickness away, you notice that they seem to feel a little better just having you there. It's like opening the curtains and letting the sun shine in. And both of your hearts grow. I guess the point is, just like the sun gives us warmth and energy, we can give that to each other. And I bet you can feel it right now in this room and on Zoom, all of us coming together for this time and sharing our light. And if you take a moment, but let's do that. Let's take a moment. Quiet the other things in your mind. Close your eyes if you feel like that helps. Sitting in the quiet, notice the feeling of the other people around you. Feel the energy we created by gathering together this morning. Feel the warmth of all these hearts coming together to be in this moment, here, together. Now, take a moment to look at the people around you in the room or around on your camera. Do you feel it? Do you? Do you? Do you feel that sunshine coming in? That bright light we create? The sense of connection? I know I do. And when I take time to feel this, when we take time to feel this, we grow together. And I bet you feel just a little bit sunnier now, yes? Yeah. A bit brighter. And guess what? All of our hearts just grew. It is now time for the children to leave us for today. We will sing them out and they will gather in Freeman Hall where our leaders will take them to their spaces, either the nursery or outside to playground 2. Let us sing.
Appreciate so much Paula's words asking us not only to think about the power of connection and loving kindness, but the experience of it, what it can do for us, and the way that it can move out in circles to touch people we don't even know. You've done that today, perhaps unbeknownst to you, by setting your service hour at 10 o'clock in the morning. I want to thank you. I come from down 85, from Spartanburg. We tell each other there that if you're in Charlotte at 3 o'clock, just wait until 6 o'clock to drive out. And the same goes for the morning. Your service hour allowed me to sail up the interstate and straight to you this morning with no trouble at all, and to enjoy the beauty of the verdant interstate that otherwise is often clogged with our traffic. Really is a beautiful drive through the countryside when we're not there. So I want to invite you to enter into the loving kindness meditation again. This is a practice of the Spartanburg congregation about every other month, and it has become something that we're saturated in, and we want to share it with you today. So just slow down and bring to mind and to heart all beings, the green highways and the frenetic traffic of our lives. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. Please rise in body, spirit, and join in singing. Join me in silence. So impressed to hear you sing this morning. Given the way that you sing, I expect it may just be what you do every Sunday. And I come from a congregation also that sings, which I'm very proud of. In circles of folks who work professionally in congregations, there's a lot of thought, especially over the last 20 or 30 years, about how more and more our religious cultures have become part of our consumer culture. We go to consume and experience. And more music has become performance. Even today, what we enjoyed from our soloist was far more than performance, it was offering. Don't you think he deserves another round of applause for that? But to hear you sing with the strength of which you sing makes me think that everybody from the choir didn't know there wasn't practice today and they came anyway. Or perhaps you've had a music director for going on 18 years. Maybe he deserves a round of applause too. So grateful for the invitation to be with you today. Lisa, who has just moved on, is someone from deep within the UU tradition, and I am from way outside of it. And as I've come in, she really has been a sort of older sibling to me, mentoring me and guiding me, and I'm grateful for her welcome, for me to join you today, and for your welcome, and the welcome of this staff, folks who will celebrate their 1-year anniversary, and folks who will celebrate their 19-year anniversary, and folks who are not here yet, but who are coming to you. So I do want to ask, if you will, Unitarians, if I can ask you to clap a third time, just for the strength of team that you've built here between yourselves and the longevity of your staff and the new people that are coming towards you now. Let's give a round of applause to everybody. If you would, take out your silver hymnal. Some people confuse it for gray, but this is silver. These are jewels that you hold in your hands. And just open it to number 27. And just hold it there. Whether you're sharing with someone or you're holding it for yourself, just leave it there open. There is a power in our world, tremendous in the energy that it releases. If you take an atom and split it, the separation of that entity from itself unleashes a magnitude of power into our world. The power of nuclear fission. Now, I expect, standing here in your universities and industry, that some of you are going to know a whole lot more about what I'm talking about than I do. And so I beg your forbearance and invite you to correct me after the service. It's very welcome to continue my education. Power of nuclear fission. That enormous energy which powers our world more and more, also has the detriment of a lot of waste. There is another power, much harder to generate, even more energetic, even greater in the offering that it can yield. You take two small atoms and under great effort, creating an environment that is so hard to generate we can barely sustain it on Earth. Bring those atoms in connection with each other until they combine. The power of the sun is born. Nuclear fusion. Power that can become cyclical. It can begin to move in a chain reaction and to flow until stars form. And life pours beyond the orb that has been created, emanating out into the darkness. The power of life. I am that great and fiery force, sparkling in everything that lives, in shining of the river's course, in greening grass that glory gives. It's no wonder that our ancestors, through time and around the world, perceived in the sun divinity. Whether they understood that as literal reality or as metaphor, it's hard for us to discern. But we know that our forebears, through time and through space, looked at this source of energy, of light and warmth, and they knew that without it, they could not live. And so in it, they saw the ultimate meaning of the word divinity, whatever we each may believe about it or think, that which gives life. A life born of the power of fusion, of entities separate from each other, coming together under great stress, great concentrated pressure, to merge and become something more than either one of them was before. Life pouring out from that combination. And as we know, whatever our beliefs may be, the ultimate meaning of divinity is what we find within ourselves. No, if there is a God, that God really doesn't need religion. God's going to be fine being God. And if there's no God, then so what? But it's people that need these structures, these poetic forms that we create, these songs and these ways of gathering, because they give us life. They sustain us by gathering to each other and by teaching us the deepest lessons of how to live. And this deepest lesson of divinity is that what we see there, that power beyond us, is a power within us as well. For sure, we know that stardust runs in our veins. And so when we perceive the sun, we see by orders of magnitude an image of ourselves as well. But I mean something even more basic, even more practical. We know in our own lives what fission is like. We know what it's like when a body that is joined together separates. It can be very powerful, huge energy released. also there can be a lot of waste. Sometimes in our human lives, separation needs to occur. Sometimes unions need to end. Sometimes teams come to termination and need to separate. Not all separation is bad. There's almost always some waste as well, and a big release of energy, for good or for ill. But we also know in our lives the power of fusion. Hear me on this. What we see generating life for our planet, we experience also within us. Think of it. Think of that person, maybe even yourself, when real love was discovered in life. And a real connection with another person was discovered. And when one person and another, in any form of relationship, familial or friendship or romantic or professional, whatever that connection is, think about when that deep relationship connected, what it generated, and the energy that pours out of that fusion. Life giving birth to more life. Or think of a group of people who have every reason to not come out on a blazing hot Sunday morning, but who still gather, bodies combining with bodies in a space, and what has created something more than anyone could create ourselves. So much beauty, so much power, so much energy. Our own Unitarian Universalist movement began with fission. People who could not tolerate the intolerance of Calvinism, and who split, saying a God of love would never deny that love to anyone, claiming universal love, or saying if we are to live like that God of love, we cannot deny love to anyone. Separating out with plenty of waste. But in 1961, these two small groups trying to forge a way in this country, trying to witness to that all-embracing universal love, saw each other, and under great pressure and stress, some of which continues today, merged. And even when it's hard, look at the power, the life-giving energy that emanates from those two bodies coming together. Think of what it has done in your life, that like a fool, you've come here on a Sunday morning. Power of the Son, the divine, life-giving power of fusion, lives within us. And it can happen in the most implausible ways. Where I'm from, just over the border, in the brilliant state of South Carolina. I don't know why you're laughing. It's my home. I'm laughing with you. Congregations have formed a team of congregations. The focus of trying to end child poverty in our county. An impossible task, with the conviction that congregations offer a set of gifts that philanthropies and government and our educational institutions, as vital as and important as they are, cannot offer, that we need to be a part of the equation in order to serve our children and create sustainable life for them. I sit almost every month with a colleague who works with a network of more than 50 evangelical churches. He and I disagree on a whole lot. And we acknowledge that difference. And I work with a gathering of moderate and progressive congregations, and he works with a gathering of very conservative congregations. And every month we sit, not forcing forms of cooperation, but just swapping notes and sharing what we're each doing and talking about ways that we can connect to build a different life for our people in our home. And you know, in this year, among all the years of the history of our nation, what a pressure chamber that meeting is. How difficult and how absolutely important. The energy that comes from the combination of those bodies, so different from each other. It is life-giving fusion. Don't leave me alone out here. I shine and glitter on the seas, in burning sun, in moon and stars, in unseen wind, in verdant trees. I breathe within both near and far. So this sounds nice. People different from each other trying to get along. Life-giving energy coming from the union of two bodies connecting with each other. And sometimes it's hard, so we have to work at it. But it's 4th of July weekend. And then it's election year in our republic. So let's have some fireworks also. Because what I'm talking about isn't just being nice to each other, although I want to be clear, for you and for the viewers online and for the recording in perpetuity, lasts longer than my life will. I am completely in favor of kindness, and I urge us all to exercise it as much as we're able. But I'm talking about something more hard-nosed than that, as simple as it seems. What I'm talking about is sharing with each other. Sharing what we have to offer each other. Partnerships where people who have different gifts, different assets, different worldviews come together to share with each other what the others do not. Like my colleague who works with the evangelical churches. Imagine if I tried to convene those evangelical churches. How many people would show up at that meeting? There would be one body in the room, and it would be mine. Not much energy, whole lot of waste. When he and I work together, we bring an impossible gathering of people to try to generate something new, hard and conflicted as it is. Connect and share. Connect with those different than you and share the gifts that you have in order to call out from them what they have, to create something greater than either of us. This is the power of fusion, the life-giving energy of the sun, and it is strategic. Because from its inception, from 1492 and 1619 down to 2024, the driving ethos and the economic engine of our country has been fission. Separate to take. We have built the world's dominant economy on separating people from their land, from their homes, from their families, and taking everything that we could until it killed them. When we do the hard, stressful, pressured work of reversing that, of connecting and sharing all that we have, we reverse the trend of our country. We turn the wheel of history once more It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? It sounds impossible. But if we have built this empire by separating and taking, we change the momentum of our empire into beloved community by connecting and sharing. This is the power to give life rather than to take it. And even if fusion is an unsustainable, nearly impossible physical process on this earth, isn't it better than the waste of fission? And isn't it worth trying that experiment again? Fuse with me. And where I breathe, there is no death. Wouldn't it be great if the history of our country shifted from so much death to life? And meadows glow with beauties rife. I am in all the Spirit's breath, the thundered word, for I am life. Connect and share. It is the reversal of our history. It is what gives life to our communities. It is the divine power of the sun cycling to pour life out to make our lives possible. Connect and share the power of the sun. Fusion. Even with those most difficult for us. Those for whom the loving kindness meditation is the most difficult to utter. It's the power that gives life. It is the divinization of our fractured humanity. We are that great and fiery force.
Tis the gift to be simple, tis the gift to be free, tis the gift to come down where you ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where you ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight.
In a previous congregation, I had a worship associate who liked to tell a little joke before the offering. So I thought, in that vein, I will offer you a short story. A pastor explained to his congregation that the church was in need of some extra money, so he asked them to consider being more generous, offering whoever gave the most money the chance to pick 3 hymns. After the offering plates were passed about the church, the pastor glanced down and noticed that someone had graciously offered a total of $1,000. He was so excited that he immediately shared his joy with the congregation and said he'd like to personally thank the person who placed the money in the plates. A very quiet, elderly, saintly lady in the back of the church shyly raised her hand, and the minister asked her to come to the front, so she slowly made her way towards him. The pastor told her how wonderful it was she gave so much, and in thanks, he asked her to pick out 3 hymns. Her eyes brightened. She looked over the congregation, and then she pointed at the 3 most handsome men in the church and said, "I'll take him, and him, and him." But seriously, folks, we are grateful to our members who pledge their generous financial support and make regular contributions to sustain the work of our congregation. While the offering is collected, you are invited to come forward and light a candle honoring a milestone, concern, or celebration. The offering will now be greatly received. Please join me in a time of contemplation or prayer. I invite you to breathe deeply, be present to the spirit of life which is in us and through us and around us, to those human connections that give us strength when we struggle and celebrate when we are joyful. The gathered community hears and holds both difficulty and ease as we honor the experiences that make each of us who we are. Though no individual concerns were noted today, we honor all those things, both challenging and joyful, that go unspoken. And now, we join in a moment of silence to honor these things and those that remain in our hearts.
Once more from the loving kindness meditation. We express love for all beings. Bring to mind this whole world and hold in heart and mind the power of fusion. Each being who emerges to you. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. Now please rise in body or spirit and sing from the UU canon, the Beatles catalog, Here Comes the Sun.
Please join me in our chalice extinguishing words. We distinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please be seated for the closing music.